Congressman Don Bacon. And Congressman, we are just about ready to go in terms of results. I know it's been a long road for you. How are you feeling at this juncture in the campaign, just a few minutes away?
Well, I have some butterflies because I've only done this one time, and it's my first re-elect. I feel confident with the numbers we have, but I also know my opponents work very hard, and so, you know, it's the only poll that really counts is tonight's votes coming in. But I feel good that we've done really well with our independent moderate votes. I think we've made a lot of inroads even in the moderate Democrats with a lot of support there. But we'll have to see. The tell of the tape is the actual votes tonight, and you know, I don't take it for granted.
You've earlier at our station today, you called your opponent a Bernie Sanders type Democrat. Have you found because of that, because she is a little bit more liberal on some issues, that you've been able to reach out to moderates more?
Absolutely. There's a lot of moderate Democrats that have reached out to me. Some of them elected that are private, say we're voting for you, because she is in the Bernie Sanders wing and she doesn't really represent the middle and didn't make an effort during the general campaign. Normally during the general campaign, even if you're primary, you run a little more to your base, you try to come back in, and she did not do that. I mean, Politico said she went further left, and her campaign manager team said it was a fool's errand to reach out to the middle. So that really gave me an open spot to fill, and it was just, you know, basics, like, you know, the president does say things that I think he should be more polite, more respectful, but she was calling it treasonous, calling it un-American and immoral, and I just think that was speaking to the 30%. And we're a moderate district. We're not Berkeley. We're not New York. We're Omaha, Nebraska. That's center right, which we're moderate but leans a little right. And I just think she was playing to that 30-35%. But she's going to work out a turnout out of that group that may be higher than normal, and that's the race.
Sure. Other than obviously your opponent being different, as you mentioned earlier, you're the incumbent now.
Right.
What's the biggest difference running as an incumbent when you were the challenger in 2016?
Results. I have 8 legislative priorities that were signed into law. I mean, I made a difference for Gold Star widows and widowers, big difference for our military. I was one of the top leaders in all of Congress for getting our military healthy again, but also the economy, which I played a part in. I mean, because we passed a tax bill that put our businesses on a level playing field with other countries' their businesses. You can't compete against other countries when you're paying double and triple the tax. We fixed that. So we have one of the best economies in 5 decades. So I think in this case we had results. I passed legislation. I also had 2 years of working every day. I was working 14 hours a day, doing 5 and 6 meetings a day back in the district, and then going back to DC for the other 4 or 5 days. So folks got to know me.
Final question for you. When the results start coming in, what are you going to be looking at to kind of know one way or another how it's going to go?
We're going to get the first 2 batches. The first batch will be early votes, and that will tell you sort of how the rest of the Tuesday's voting went. And then the second vote's the early balloting. They're different, but based on what that second vote comes in, you're going to know where we're at by the end of the night based on what the first set of votes is, because you're going to see those coming in afterwards. So I'm going to look at the differences between those first 2 votes, and we'll be able to probably tell at that point where the trajectory is going.